Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel again. So this is Cloud Institution, and today we are going to see one of the interesting topic about Terraform, manage Terraform versions. Okay, so we have different Terraform versions and different Terraform providers and everything we used to see. But today we are going to see how are we going to manage the Terraform versions. Okay, so we have something called Terraform. The version constraints. So we are going to use all these kind of symbols. So less than, greater than, equal to, and greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to, and tilde symbol, and all these kind of symbols and everything. So we are going to use it, and we are going to see in the demo that how these symbols are used to they keep your versions up to date. Okay, so today I'm going to show you some kind of demo. Okay, so this is the Terraform, right? So we already seen this screen before. Okay, so I have only one Terraform provider.tf file, and so in this Terraform dot the provider.tf file, I have some kind of a required version. Okay, so we are going to see what is required version. So this required version is something like a Terraform version. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to see, okay, so for example, I'm going with the 1.9.0. Okay, now I'm going to do a Terraform version. So first of all, you have to check that what Terraform version you are installed in your local machine. Okay, so in order to see that, you do Terraform, okay, -v. So I've installed 1.9.5 version is what I have installed in my local. But if you mentioned like required version of a Terraform, okay, this is not the provider version, right? This is the Terraform version itself, Terraform installer version. So the Terraform version is going to be 1.9.0. Okay, is what I'm just telling that is a required version. I have to set it for. Then what happens is that when I do Terraform init, okay, so what happens is that it's going to give me a error saying that, okay, hey, look, I want, so the configuration wants 1.9.0, okay, but does not support the Terraform version 1.9.5. Okay, so either I have to downgrade this version or I have to use the exact version whatever I'm using. Okay, and also you can also use kind of a greater than or equal to, so greater than 1.9.0. So which specify that I want a version anything which greater than 1.9.0, which satisfy the condition that 1.9.5, right? So if you do Terraform init again, now is be successfully initializing. Okay, so this is what called. Okay, so but if you can see the lower version, but if you are mentioning here that you want the lower version of the Terraform, then it's going to give me an error saying that the Terraform version which is required is going to be 1.9.0, like less than, but you have a higher version which is installed. Okay, so this is what called the Terraform version constraints of the Terraform, Terraform version itself, right? Like, so and also what you can do is you can also use that just equal. Okay, so then it's not going to make any difference. So if you want to make it just 1.5, then now here is going to be exactly matching to the version number is going to be 1.9.5, which we have already been installed. Okay, so now is well and good, right? Hope you understand this. So this is the Terraform version itself. Okay, now let's go back to the Terraform provider version. Okay, so if you can see here, the Terraform provider version is something like, so what we are going to focus on. Okay, so now let's go one by one with this one. So now let's go to Azure RM provider. Okay, so now I'm just mentioning here that I want to install Azure RM 4.0.0. Okay, so now when you do Terraform init, it will be downloading that version number 4.0.0. Okay, so it's good enough, right? So now if I can go back to the Azure and I say that I have that 4.1.0 is the latest version. Okay, so 4.0.0 is the version which I already downloaded here. Okay, as you can see here, I downloaded the version number. Okay, so 4.0.0 here. Okay, 4.0.0 version is got downloaded now. Well, now what happen if I can give, if you want any versions which is greater than 4.0.0. Okay, so let's try with something greater than symbol. Okay, so now which one it should pick up? Okay, it can pick up 4. So 4.1.0 or 4.1.0. I mean 4.0.1 or 4.1.0. Okay, so when I do Terraform init again, Okay, it's not giving me the the configuration file. Okay, so now I have to do Terraform upgrade. We already seen this, so seen this error before, right? We need to do Terraform upgrade to make sure that Terraform, the latest version, so greater than, so greater than 4.0.0 version I'll be downloading. Okay, so now it's picking up that 4.1.0. Okay, so the reason being, so the 4.0.0 is the version what we had it, and then it's going to be like higher, topmost higher version with the greatest one, which is 4.1.0 is downloading now. Okay, so that is the latest version which is recently downloaded 6 days ago. Okay, now hope you know, like so what is the version here. Now you can also give, okay, so version less than 4.0.0. Okay, so less than. Okay, so if you do less than, what's going to be happening now? So you have the version called 4.0.0, and then it's going to be going back to the some of the greater version, which is something, which is having the 3.3 dot 116.0, something like that, right? So whichever the version is being, so the least version, least version, then the 4.0, and then the higher version of 3 dot 3 dot x, right? So let's see what happens. I wanted to do the version which is kind of a less than. Okay, so now I'm going Terraform upgrade. Okay, as you can see, Terraform is picking up 3.116.0. Okay, so the reason being, we want some version which is less than 4.0. Okay, so that is the reason why it is just picking whichever the version is been most least than 4.0.0. Okay, now again, now what happened? Okay, now it's been downloaded with the version 3.116.0. Okay, now what happened when you give, okay, so less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Okay, if I can give less than or equal to, what's going to be happening now? You see, so it's just picking up 4.0.0. The reason being, so whenever you do less than or equal, so it's always going with the higher proceedings, right? So it's always going with the equal as the latest version, and it's going to be picking up the 4.0.0 version for your application. Okay, so as you can see here, we have downloaded a lot of versions, but which version is going to be a fixed version for your application, for this configuration? In order to find out that, you have to go to log.html file and have to see, so the current constraint, like 4.0.0 is the one. Okay, all right, so everything is good, right? Okay, now similarly, let's go back and see there are kind of two versions. Okay, so let's see, go back and see that AWS, let's open let's consider for AWS providers. And now let's see, okay, so we are giving up two constraints. Okay, I want, okay, so greater than or equal to and less than 4.0. Okay, I want something greater than 3.0.0, and I want less than 4.0.0. Okay, so then is going to pick any kind of a version in between, which is a greater than 3.0.0 and then less than 4.0.0. Okay, so let's see what's going to be happening with this configuration now. Okay, so Terraform minute upgrade, so it's going to picking up, so latest version of, so latest version whatever is been picking up from this one is going to be like, installing 3.76.1. Okay, because is this picking up any version in between this one. Okay, so this is how the configuration will be, the working. So if you can just pick up any versions, any version between that. Now we are going to see one more very interesting concept, right? Now like what is greater than a less than version and all these things, right? Like how to pick the versions in between. Now I'm going to see one of the another constraint is called tilde symbol. Okay, so the tilde. Okay, so now if you can, so now what happens if you do a tilde symbol, tilde with a greater symbol, is that it is going to take, okay, it's going to do the minor version upgrade. Okay, so for example, if you can give 3 dot, okay, if you can give 3.0.0, okay, what's going to be happening is that it will go and see that in the 3.0, and then it's going to change only the last version, last version, which is the greater version. Okay, so greater minor version is going to be changing in your configuration. For example, if you go and check, like upgrade, okay, so it's going to be checking that, so the 3 point upgrading to 3.0.2 version is going to be changing. Okay, why? Because in 3.0, so 3.0.2 is the greater version, okay, on in terms of the minor versions, right? So that's the greater minor versions which is be picking up from this configuration. Okay, so now if you also go and see this 4.0 and tilde, okay, so what's going to be what should be picking up is that it should pick up 4.0.1. Okay, let's try. If you can go and see 4.0, because we have only one version, which is 4.0.1 here, so it's going to be picking up the latest version, okay, of the minor version, which means that in the latest version, so so this is the 4.0.1, 4.0.0. Here I won't have a tilde, I wanted to pick up 4.0.1 version. Okay, so only this last version of it is going to be changing. Okay, let's try it. Great. Okay, as you can see here, it's going to be picking up 4.0.1. Okay, so similarly you can just change anything else, right? If you can go back and see here, okay, so whatever the versions is going to be changing. Okay, so whatever the major version, minor version, everything you can just check, and whichever you wanted to try, you can just try. So this is how you will be, so you will be picking up the proper version constraints for your application. So just to summarize, this is the required version, which is the Terraform version. Okay, and then the required provider versions, so this kind of a provider versions, whatever you are going to see, this kind of a Terraform provider versions. Okay, so we have a 3 to 4 different configurations. Okay, one is equal, so which gives me a exact equal version. Another one is Azure RM version. Okay, when is so Azure RM, in the Azure RM we have seen greater than, less than, the tilde, all these things. And in the AWS we have seen like greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to, and less than, and this combination we have seen. Okay, so this summarize, the version constraints of your AWS providers. Okay, if you have more questions about